Over the past year, I've been buying a ton of GameCube stuff, and I finally sat down and looked at my collection and realized I've got a bunch of awesome stuff. But I saw a post about a GameCube game on Facebook Marketplace, and that's when I realized I've actually got some really expensive games. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 most expensive games from my GameCube collection, and honestly, there's some crazy stuff, so let's just get into it. Starting off with the first game on this list, which is subsequently the cheapest game at $75, is Mario Kart Double Dash, which is absolutely crazy because I found this about 5 years ago for $3.99 at a thrift store. Blew my mind. I have not seen a GameCube game since picking this up from that thrift store in a thrift store, so I guess that was kind of lucky. But this game right now, if you look it up on price charting, is going for $75 complete like this one is, which is just crazy considering I only spent $3. And this game is just so much fun. It's probably the best Mario Kart game. At least it's my favorite. Definitely a ton of fun. If you don't have this game, you should definitely pick it up. And that leads me to the next thing that I have, which is this awesome Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix big box. It's the dance pad and the game bundled. This is complete, which is absolutely amazing. I ended up buying this from a Goodwill about like 8 to 10 years ago, and I paid 15 bucks for this thing. And if you look it up right now on price charting, this right here is worth about $85 complete, which is totally awesome. This thing just looks absolutely insane. The artwork, everything about this is so awesome. There's a little damage here up at the top corner and from the sticker up there, but otherwise, this is in really good condition, and I still cannot believe that I found this at a Goodwill store for so cheap and such good condition. But if I was to buy this now, it would be about $85, so I'm glad that I paid 15 for it. The next thing was a absolute insane Facebook Marketplace haul, and that is this Donkey Kong Jungle Beat combo here. This is the bongos and the game. This just goes absolutely insane. The artwork on this box alone is enough to want to display this. But I ended up buying this for $25 and another just the Donkey Konga set like this for $25 each last year on Facebook Marketplace. Just absolutely insane. How awesome does this thing look? And if you look this up on price charting right now, this is worth about $104, which is crazy that I only paid $25 for it, but the artwork is just insane. This game's a ton of fun, and it surprises me that I was able to find this in my area for this cheap, but it was definitely an absolute steal when I picked it up. Enough about big box things. Let's talk about some more games here. We've got Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem. As you can see here, I paid $85 at a vintage stock, which was absolutely crazy. I think I bought this towards the end of last summer, and this is one of those games that is just not something you would expect on the GameCube, but I'm so glad I have this. This is one of those horror games that I think Nintendo needs to make some more like this. I think that would be absolutely awesome, but for whatever reason they hadn't. But it's also a rated M game on the system. And if you pick this up right now, complete in the box, like this one is right here, this is going to run you 97 to 95 to 100 bucks according to price charting. This is one of those games last year when I was looking for GameCube games towards the end of the summer. I saw this at a vintage stock, and I did pay up for it, but it's still worth a little bit more than I paid, so I think this was definitely well worth it. But it's one of those games I've had on my list for a while, and I'm glad that I grabbed it before this price goes even crazier. Speaking of prices starting to get heavy, we have some wild ones coming up here, but we're going to make that jump to the next level, and that is Def Jam Fight for New York. Now, this one is in rough condition. It's just the case, though, so I could take it out and put it in a new one. I ended up paying $100 for this, and it is missing the manual, which is kind of a bummer. But if you look this game up complete, which I know this one isn't, but bear with me. If you look this up complete on price charting, it's going for $160, which is just absolutely insane. This is a weird and wacky game, and I say that in like the best way possible. It's a hip hop, like rappers fighting. That's the game. You're like fighting different rappers and hip hop stars. It's a ton of fun. This really kind of reminds me of backyard wrestling, but like taken up a notch and with a ton of super famous people. Like Ice-T is in this one, and Slick Rick, Ludacris, Snoop Dogg. There's a ton of really uh, big name people on here. There's a ton. If you want to check that out, you should. But this is one of those weird, wacky games that anytime I put this in my GameCube, I absolutely love it. I picked this up last summer as well, maybe early fall for $100, and this is worth about $160 complete, which is crazy. So I am glad that I grabbed it when I did, because they didn't price it right at that game exchange, and it should have been more, but I'm not complaining with it because I got a good deal. That leads me to the next game, which is Zelda Twilight Princess. Wait, this is the Wii one. Oh, there it is. Okay, Zelda Twilight Princess on the GameCube and not the Wii. Now, if you have it on the Wii, it's worth like $25. However, if you have it complete on the GameCube, it's worth like $165, which is absolutely crazy, but it kind of makes sense. This game is a ton of fun. If you've never played this one, you probably want to pick it up on the Wii, maybe, I don't know, but to me, playing this on the GameCube is where it's at. To save your money, grab it on the Wii, but if you want to feel and play this game the way that it was designed and meant to be played, this is the way to play it. Now, it was released on both systems at the end of the GameCube era and the beginning of the Wii era, so obviously that's why there's two different copies, and this one was way cheaper because they made a lot more. But this game on the GameCube is absolutely awesome. You gotta play it if you haven't before, but obviously this is one that I gotta keep in my collection. Then we've got a game which I actually have a few copies of somehow. Over the years, I've accumulated it, and that is Pokemon Coliseum. I have 3 complete copies of this game. I don't know how that ended up. And a loose disc copy. I don't know why, but I've got enough copies to play this for more than a lifetime. But if you were to try to buy this right now, according to price charting complete, this is worth $170, which is just absolutely crazy. But then again, I look at this game and I understand why. This is one of those games, it's a ton of fun. It's basically Pokemon Stadium for the GameCube with some more added stuff. And as a game that you gotta play if you've got a GameCube, it's getting up there in price for a good reason, though. This is definitely one you gotta play, and you can even connect it to a Game Boy Advance as well, which is pretty cool. I've never actually done that before, but maybe I should try that. I think that would be awesome. But this game is where things start to get crazy. The next game on this list is Ribbit King. I ended up picking this up last October at RetroFest Arkansas, which is a con put on by Retro Rick himself. He invited me out and I had a ton of fun. It was amazing. And this ended up being the GameCube grail that I ended up with from the convention. This was $165, which was a great deal considering right now, if you look this up on price charting, it's worth about $192, which is just absolutely crazy. It's cheaper on other platforms like the PlayStation 2, but the GameCube version is going crazy right now, so I'm glad I got it. That convention was so much fun, and to be able to pick this up for a good deal, it was like $175 at the time when I picked it up. Picking this up for $10 under market value then was amazing, but it's even better now that the prices kept going up. The next game is another Pokemon game, and you probably know what it is by now, and that is Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. If you look this up on price charting right now, this is going for around $205 to $210, which is absolutely insane. This is again another one of those games that is compatible with the Game Boy Advance. It's very similar-ish to Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon Stadium. They're not the same, obviously, so don't be commenting down below. These games are different. I know that, but that's like the closest reference I have to these games. But these games are absolutely fun, but the fact that this is well over 200 bucks now blows my mind. I only paid like $85 for this like 3 years ago, which is crazy, but to see it over 200 just blows my mind. Which brings us to the most expensive game in my collection, which, drumroll please, is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Now, I ended up picking this game up for 75 bucks on Facebook Marketplace like 5 years ago, and at the time this was worth about $100, but it's like more than doubled its price since then. If you look this up on price charting right now, this is worth $225, which is just absolutely crazy. This is one of those games that I don't see many people have just because it's worth so much money. Obviously, people have it, but no one's dropping that much money regularly because this is a really expensive game. But honestly, I'm super stoked that I picked this up when I could. I've played it like a little bit, but not much. I picked it up back in the day and played it then, but I haven't played this in a long time. But buying this for 80 bucks and then having it be worth 225 bucks is just crazy to me. And that is the most expensive games from my GameCube collection. I've been growing this collection for a while now, but this past year I've been buying a ton. And so grabbing all of these games in my collection for really good deals is definitely amazing because some of these games are worth a lot of money. But if you want to see me talk about anything else from my game collection or anything you're interested in, comment down below and let me know. But honestly, there's some wild stuff on the GameCube that's worth a lot of money. And this right here is just some of my collection. There's a ton more on the shelves back there. I just really am thankful for all the GameCube stuff I've found over the past year and many years before that. But I've really gone hard at GameCube collecting over probably since the beginning of 2024. But I think I'm starting to collect more for a different console at the moment. But I'm still keeping my eye out for GameCube games any way that I can. So I'm going to get out of here. I got some games to play and some other videos I'm working on. But if you liked any of this, comment down below and let me know. Check that video out if you haven't already, because I do have to get out of here pretty soon. But what do you think is the craziest thing from this collection? Was it some of the super expensive games, some of these crazy boxes, or what did you think is the best? Comment down below and let me know. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.